How did Hurricane come together? Describe the origins of that. It has this really cool orchestration, and as we talk about the way that you are consciously evolving the sound of the band and not trying to be, as you put, samey, kind of coining your own word in our interview, talk a little bit about how that song came together.
It was an old song. We rarely redo songs. Usually we keep things fresh, and if I have an idea from 5 years ago and we just don't use it, then we just kind of trash it. We don't go back. But that was when I jammed with Dave, the guitar player, like years ago. And I don't know why, for some reason, we just never finished it. This record, I kind of brought it back, and we finished it. And it was fun doing it because we created this kind of, a sonic hurricane in the beginning of the song where it had this, like, rotary speaker thing that got faster and faster and bigger and bigger. And it was, like, cool tracking that song because it was, had the orchestra elements that would crescendo up in waves. And so it was really fun to record and write.
Where'd the concept of that orchestration come from? Was that Howard Benson, the producer? Was that you? Combo of ideas?
Yeah, well, every record we've had some sort of orchestra strings on songs. But this record, Howard said, hey, why don't we just blow our whole wad here on one song, and let's just get like the best orchestra tracks we can and just spend all of our money. And so, because there was I think another track we wanted to put strings on, and he was like, no, let's just do it on this one and make this one like the centerpiece of the record, and we're like, sure, let's go for it. So we just had this massive orchestra piece, which was it's fun. I've only the first record was the only record I actually witnessed them tracking. And since then, I've never been able to actually go in and watch them track the strings, which kind of sucks.
It does, man, because that song sounds so big. It's like when you talk about the production, it has that big production feel. Like you guys really poured it into that thing. I was going to ask, did you get to do them so you didn't see them laying that thing down?
No. I wish I did. I mean, she sends the lady who that wrote it and conducts it or whatever, and is... she sends like a demo of it, which is just kind of like MIDI keyboard, so you can get an idea and be like, well, we like this piece and this piece, and then they just go track it at I guess at a big studio that can have
that handles the orchestras,
right? And then they just send us the files. I'm like, that sounds amazing. I wish I was there. I wish I could film it or something.
You get hooked up with the chick through the producer?
Yeah, he kind of likes to use the same people on every. He has his core people. So if any other artists he works with, he usually goes to the same people.
People, you've gotten to both do some interesting recording with folks like Howard, who's had an impact on your sound, no question. You've also done some touring with people. I wonder what the impact of that has been. When you think of some of your tunes, you listen to these guys doing So Happy or Bad Girlfriend or some of these tunes, they have this real raunchy rock kind of quality. One of the bands they've gotten to tour with, Motley Crue. Yeah. Anything in that way of like bonding, some experiences that you shared?
Yeah, those are great guys. I mean, I guess the only guy we never really talked to was no Vince. Oh. He was still a nice guy. He'd say hi if we walked past us, though. But I guess the two guys I talked to the most was Mick Mars and Nicky. Tom Willie was like the sweetest guy. He'd have like a party every night, no dudes allowed. But like one night I wandered in and he was kind of like, no, all right, you can come in. And then these other dudes kind of come in, they're like, get out, no dudes. And I was like, yeah.
So it's you and Tommy with a whole bunch of girls?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, it was great. It was great because we never been on a tour with a band like that, and so we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how they would treat us, really, in the sense that maybe you couldn't go in certain areas, you couldn't talk to them. We didn't know, but they turned out to be totally down to earth, regular, sweet, nice guys, which is cool because for us, for bands, they've been touring for 30 years. There was no ego about them, it made us look at our own career and go, hey man, we're 10 years in, it'd be nice to be 30 years in and still be the same low-key, down-to-earth guys to all the bands that open for us,
So that's really interesting. That's one of the things I was getting at. So you did pick up some lessons from them, and one of them I'm getting out of that, just paraphrasing you, is by watching their demeanor, the way they carried themselves, you picked up a little lesson in maybe humility for how to be yourself. Yeah,
and they still are one of the hardest working bands. Like, I text with Nicky all the time, and they're just always gone. They tour. I mean, I don't know if they tour as many days on the road as we do, but they go to so many different countries. They're all over the place, And to be able to do that, you know, Nicky's got to be about 75 by now. It's awesome because that once again we're like, hey man, you know, another 20 years and maybe we can still be touring like they can. If they can do it, we can do it too. So it's cool.
And you became friends. So you talked it. So Nicky's like your boy now.
Yeah, well, I'd probably be his boy. I don't think he'd like me to say that.
It's good stuff. Nickelback's Chad Kroeger. A connection there, big connection, right?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
He found us. It was a friend of a friend. I would hang out with his girlfriend at the time. We had mutual friends, so we would go do stuff, and his girlfriend would be there. But this was years ago. This was before they even became well known. This was, I would say, probably late '90s to maybe 2000. You know, so they were in a band. They were touring. I would go watch them play at like clubs in Vancouver. Like I'm talking maybe like a 500-seat club. You go in and they play, and after they come and be like, hey, this is my boyfriend Chad. I'm like, hey man, that was a good set. You know, no one really knew who they were. And it kind of after a couple of years, you know, eventually he heard that we were in a band too, and heard our stuff, and he called me and said, hey man, I want to start like my own label, and I want to like, you know, do this and that, and you know, maybe I can help you guys get like a record deal. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. What do you need me to do? And he's like, well, I need you to come into the studio tomorrow morning and track some songs. I'm like, done. So me and Dean, we went over and did some rehearsing that night, and the next morning just all called in sick to work, and it just started from there. And then we just got we sent the demos out to labels, and I think that was right around when he went and wrote the How Your Miami song that became kind of
the big first huge.
Right. And so when that came out, all of a sudden it was just like instant gravitation towards anything that he was doing. So we got a lot of there was a lot of labels all of a sudden trying to find the next
Nickelback,
next How You Remind Me, you know. So it was great for us because we got signed instantly, and we went and made a record, and then, you know, that was 2001. Now we're all old men in our late 20s.
And you boys with him?
What's that?
You and Chad still tight?
No, you know what, I talked to him here and there, but you know, he's so insanely busy, and so am I. So I don't see anybody anymore. Usually all I will do is text.
I don't think anyone's going to see anybody anymore with the texting.
No, I'm never home. Like I'm texting with a buddy all today. He's like, where are you? And I'm like, Hawaii. And then someone else, another friend or guy in a band will text me tomorrow. What's going on, man? It's just how our world kind of is.
Remember when texting was only something you did with someone you wanted to date or whatever? Now it was like, it felt weird to do it with like your buds. Now you do it all the time with them.
Well, now it's like you look at how phone companies have changed. Man, it was all about, you know, how many minutes. It's all about minutes, and now it's just all about data or whatever. There's no one even uses their phone anymore. It's all about texting and sending videos and internet.
It's like phone booths in New York. They don't make any money on the phone calls. They make it all on the ads on the side of them.
Yeah, so there's no more. Superman's not going to be able to change. They're going to take the phone booths away. There's going to be no more Superman changing. He'll change in the alley and get arrested.
As we go to wrap it up, you said a great thing. You called in sick to your day job, went in to record. That was your last day job. What was it?
I actually had a pretty decent job. I got my journeyman ticket to be a glazier. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
It's just a guy that works with glass. So I would just build things, glass tabletops, anything to do with glass. Like,
you were set to be a glazier.
A glazier. It just sounds like ice or something, but it's glass. So yeah, so I learned how to work with glass and stuff. It was a good job. I guess it was pretty dangerous, but so that was going to be my career. It was not bad. You know, I was smart. I see so many musicians that like don't have jobs, or they have crappy jobs. And I'm like, dude, you know, like for me, the music was a hobby, and that's why I love to do it, because it was a hobby. I didn't have any of these, if I don't get famous by the time I'm 30, I quit. It's like, well, who says that? That's lame. I'll never quit. It's my hobby. It's like golfing. It's just like fun. So, you know, I was actually legit at a real job, and then I would play music, at, you know, at night or weekends with my friends.
You're like, dude, I'm a glazier. I'm covered.
Yeah, I'm all good. I cut my hair. I remember going to a job interview, and actually Dean, our bass player, worked at this place, and he's like, "Oh, we're hiring. You should go in." I had hair like Chris Cornell, like Jesus Christ, from like, you know, back. It was like down my shoulder, and I go in, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you know, we're still looking at some people." And then he's like, "I'm sorry, dude. You know what? You gotta cut your hair. You gotta cut. I can't hire you." And I'm like, "I'll cut my hair." So next day, I cut my hair all off to get the job, and that's what you got to do. Like some you know, musicians would be like, "No way, man! They're gonna cut my hair." And it's like, cut your hair, get a job, and then you can buy guitars and stuff. You know, you gotta be smart.
Right, like when you're listening to the gangster rap, got to get rid of that. Get the guitar, get the chicks.
Yeah, and you can still listen to gangster rap. I mean, I still sell coke and heroin on the side. That's now become my hobby. Now music is my glazuring.
What's next for you, Tyler? You're a fun dude. I could keep you all night, but I know you got a big gig. You got a tour. You got a gig on the military base. You said coming up. What's going to be next for Theory that fans can look for?
We just have another American tour. This one ends in about 10 days, and we have a couple weeks off, and then we just, what a surprise, start up again. We go out with our friends in Adelita's Way and just do an American tour.
And Canadian dates, I saw coming.
And then it goes right. It goes like up northeast. I don't know. We're up New York or something. I don't know where we end, and then we just go up into Canada.
Ends in Vancouver, I see.
Yeah, and then we go. Of course, we always tour in Canada in the winter, so it's going to be frickin' cold. But that's, you know what? That's when Canadians like to go inside and get drunk. You know, in the summertime they all come to Hawaii.
That's when the hockey's going.
There's no hockey this year. They're in a strike or something.
What are they going to do up there? Minor leagues.
I don't know. Some are going to going overseas and playing over there. I don't know.
Well, we know fans will be looking forward to seeing you when you guys head back home, and we'll be staying in touch with you too. I hope you dug this. Thank you very much for taking some time to talk to us.
No problem. Thank you.
We appreciate it.